Okay, this is the Geometry B Final Exam Review 2016-2017. Number 1, if BCDE is congruent OPQR, then CD is congruent to what? So what we're really looking for is where CD is located in this congruency statement, and we're going to look for the items that are in the same position. So we see that CD is in the same position as PQ. So we would say CD is congruent to PQ. Number 2, angle BAC. So angle BAC, we know this is our vertex, so we're talking about this angle right here, is congruent to, now we're looking for the same angle that has the same congruence marks. So we're talking about angle NMP or EMN. Number 3, given triangle QRS is congruent to TUV, QS is equal to 5V plus 4, and TV is equal to 9V minus 4. Find the length of QS and TV. So just like before when we have the congruent statement, I want to look at what's in the same position as QS. So QS is in the same position as TV, and we know that those are equal. So I'm going to use this space up here. 5V plus 4 is equal to 9V minus 4. We'll subtract 5V, 4V, we'll add 4, divide by 4. Alright, so we know that V is equal to 2, but we're not done. It asks for the length of QS and TV. So we want to go ahead and plug in V equals 2 in each of these problems. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. 9 times 2 is 18, minus 4, TV. And we should expect them to be the same. Alright. Number 4. The two triangles are congruent as suggested by their appearance. Find the value of G. The diagrams are not drawn to scale. Alrighty, so if we're looking here, I see 20 degrees. So we know that this is 20 degrees. I see 70 degrees and 70. So the question is, and we have 90 and 90. Okay, so if we're pairing up the similar items, this is going to be 3. This is going to be 4, and finally G is equal to 5. Everyone's favorite proofs. Justify the last two steps of the proof. Given AB is congruent to DC, so mark that, and AC is congruent to DB. So we have both of those items given. The next part says BC is congruent to CB. So we're talking about this shared side. So when we talk about something that both items have, that is the reflexive property. And we're talking of congruence. And then finally, how do we know the two triangles are congruent? By the side-side-side postulate. Number 6, which pair of triangles is congruent by angle, side, angle? So remember when we're using angle, side, angle, the side has to be directly between the two angles. So when we look, I see angle and a match over there, 2, and the side is between. So I would say, without looking at the others, this is definitely angle, side, angle. If we look at B, I have the two angles in the included side, but when I look at the second triangle, I have two angles and the side is not in the right position. So these do not match, so that does not work. For D, we have two sides and the angle included. This would be side, angle, side. Similarly, for this one, that would be side, angle, side. So remember to ask yourself how many sets of sides are congruent and how many sets of angles are congruent. So the only possibility here is A. Number 7, can you use the side angle side postulate, the angle angle side theorem, or both to prove the triangle's congruent? So we're looking at what they're giving us right now. So we have one set of sides congruent and one set of angles. We don't see any parallel lines marked. But we should recognize that we have a set of vertical angles. And so with this, I would say we know angle, angle, side. We don't know anything else about the side links. They didn't tell us anything about midpoints or anything like that. Number 8, supply the missing reasons to complete the proof. Angle S is congruent to angle V, so we have that given. And ST is congruent to VT, again, given. Okay, step 2, angle RTS is congruent to UTV, because they are vertical angles. Great. How do we know that these two triangles are congruent? This is by the angle, side, angle postulate. And then finally, how can we say that RT is congruent to UT? This is by CPC-TC. So when we look for the correct answer down here, we have C. Number 9, given triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. Angle B is 5V plus 2, angle Q is 9V minus 6. Find the measure of angle B and the measure of angle Q. So we're looking at angle B, and it is in the same position as Q, so we know that these two angles are congruent. Alrighty, so I'm going to solve for V, subtracting 5V, adding 6. Maybe you can hear my noisy first hour behind this, divided by 4. V is equal to 2. So I'm going to go ahead and plug these back in. So 9 times 2 is 18. Subtract 6. And, oh, that's Q, sorry. And 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is also 12. So we know that 12 degrees is the answer for both the measure of angle B and the measure of angle Q. Number 10. What is the value of x? So hopefully we notice that we have two congruent sides, so that means this is isosceles. So if this is 68 degrees, this is the other base angle, so they have to be congruent. So from here, I know that the three angles in a triangle add up to 180. So if I subtract 68 and 68 from 180, so 134. 68 plus 68 is 134. If I subtract, I get 44 degrees left for x. Alright, number 11. What additional information will allow you to prove the triangles congruent by the HL theorem? So HL is for hypotenuse leg. We do know we already have a 90-degree angle here, so it is a right triangle. We are already given AB congruent to DE by those are hypotenuse. So, what are these options? I need a leg, so I automatically know I don't need anything about angles. So this says AC is congruent to DC. That would definitely be a leg, and that would work. Or AC congruent to BD. That would definitely not work. So our answer there would be AC and DC.